Welcome to Twisted Tuesdays. I'm Ashley,
I'm Corey.
and we're the Wordsies.
This is going to be our very first podcast.
Yes. So, we might be a little bad at it. Sorry.
We'll get better. That happens.
Practice doesn't make perfect, it just makes you better. Seat time. That's what we tell everybody
Yeah,
here at
seat
the
time.
track. So, the track is Twisted Lanes Drift Circuit. So that's what we do here. So, hence Twisted Tuesdays.
Give you
But
a
we're
little
not-
rundown. Sorry.
But we're not all about drifting. We do have some rock crawling and some mini rock crawling
Mm-hmm.
and some fun place to just hang out. So, oh yeah, I forgot about the simulators. We got flight simulator, got a couple car simulators. So
There's lots of stuff to do here.
there's lots.
All kinds of cool stuff for sale. We've got people bringing stuff all the time. Lots of cool used stuff. One of our cool partners being
All right. We have a flight simulator. We have two racing sims. So you can go head to head on car ruts, or you can play Gran Turismo, or
speed.
yeah, get some police chases going. So, so here, Twisted Lanes, we have the drift track. We already talked about that.
All right, well, why don't you give us a little lowdown on how you got started? I mean, we own a drift track, but how did you own a drift track from? Where did this all come from?
So started. Well, I guess it kind
I
of
mean, I know the story, but these people might want to know.
exactly. So it's more or less like what got us into RCs. That's really where we need to begin. So,
What got you there?
well, technically, so I grew up racing go-karts and cars, and that's how I met his family. And then we got into Facebook, looking people up, and I found his family, and he's like, "Hey, you need to come check out an RC car drift track." And I'm like, I'm at an off-road track. I got drifting on the brain. And and he's like, "You need to come check out this RC off-road racetrack." And I was like, "What is this?" He's like, "Just come and check it out." So came, checked it out, thought it was really cool. Went to Hobbytown. He told me
Shout
to go
out
to
to Race Some
Hobbytown.
RC.
Yes.
I love Race Some RC.
So I went to, he told me to go to Hobbytown. They have RC cars in stock. So I went there and got my first RC car and started off-road dirt racing. And then that turned into indoor carpet. Because Brian was carpet at the time. Like, he was carpet at the time. No, he was carpet. And then he went to dirt. Because I remember doing the sauce on the tires. With,
what was it called? I'm drawing a blank. Smell like peppermint.
I don't know. It was the Parma tire traction compound. I don't know. It smelled really good. So.
Oh, God. You guys are going to beat us up for this one.
Yeah, it's been that long. So, anyways.
I'll remember it.
Yeah. So,
Here, something.
Paragon.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
it is.
No. Lots of memory. But anyway. A little bit. All right.
So, that's what you got me into RCs. What got you into RC?
Well, back in the 80s, my dad asked me and my brother if we wanted to race, or if we wanted some RC cars, some hobby grade ones. Everybody had some regular RC cars from Walmart type, Tyco type cars, but we got some hobby grade Show Pegasus. And so we raced at Rockford Scale Raceways, God, I'd say mid 80s to late 80s, somewhere around there. And then we didn't really do it for a while because we started go-kart racing, and that's how we came across her later on. And well, me and my brother raced, and then his kids raced, and then that's where she came around. And Racing got very expensive, especially when both my nephews were racing, me and my brother. I mean, obviously he had to pay for his kids, but just going everywhere, Friday nights, Sundays, it got expensive. So we needed to try something else. So RC cars came back around, and I believe started out with Shannon. Shannon got a Nitro Rustler, Steam something like that. It was a two-wheel drive Traxxas Nitro, and moved around with that. Then I got a Revo 3.3, and Justin had a T-Max 3.3 or 2.5, and we started goofing around at schools, jumping them, and then built a track at his dad's house with Bobcat, and kind of went from there. We built an off-road track, and a handful of us started to race some RC. Did that for about 10 years, and after that closed, that's when we did the crawling thing. Everybody started crawling, so Steve Martin started hosting events who was doing racing RC with us, and everybody did that for a while, and it did probably never really died off though. Crawling stayed around for a long time. I
No,
mean, it's still
crawling is
around,
still super
but
popular.
but because we have rock cuts, the scene never really fell off. It just wasn't as huge at the moment, and so went from there, and I wanted something else. We started doing the drag racing around here for a little while. So there's always been something we've done. And TJ with his 815 new BS crew. Now he has the 815.
No, it's
Figure 815. Sorry, go check that group out. Yeah. Once we went from drag racing, and then we kind of started playing around with drift cars. Actually, Leeson said, "Hey Corey, MST makes a front-wheel drive rear-engine drift car." And I didn't even know that they had gyros and rear-wheel drive drift cars. So it's like, yeah, let's get one. Little did I know FXX from MST is not a chassis to build. After I spent lots of money and it did not work. But the nice thing is I built an RMX and most of the stuff could switch over. The rest of it I could sell because it was nice. And kind of from there, that's where this whole crazy twisted thing comes from.
We started a
Good.
group on Facebook called 815 Slideways RC, which is still a group.
Lots of stuff gets posted on there.
Yes.
Because the tracks page is strictly for notification stuff going on for the track. If one were open, one were closed, anything like that. 815 is for everybody to post on.
It's a community.
Exactly.
That's our drift community. And not just our drift community, because we've converted like a lot of crawler guys over. And I mean, people post in there about crawling too. So
It's 815 family.
It really is. So, here we started 815 Slideways, and basically you just kind of like he went out to, with his FXX, he just kept going to the front of the house. We have like this, it's a through street, but it was a cul-de-sac. So it's really wide. So he just set up a couple cones, was doing figure eights.
Over and over, practicing getting close to the cone, getting farther away from the cone, getting close to the cone.
I could never figure it out.
Finding little cracks to get really close to, but without touching. Making little games up.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, here, try this. Try tandem with me. I'm like, I can't even drift. I just spin out. No, this isn't fun.
Had Addie riding the hoverboard down the street and we drift around and she's riding. Doing the Ken Block stuff with a two-wheel drive.
Yes. So.
Good times. But hey, we love it.
Yes. So, then once we kind of got good, like, we kind of put some feelers out, like, who else has drift cars?
Well, then we kind of branched off and went to some nicer parking lots too, because we went to the parking lot of Hobby Town.
No, before that though, like, We were doing tennis courts
Oh
and
yeah,
that kind
true.
of thing.
You're true.
But then we put posts out on the A15 group that's who else has drift cars? Let's get together. So we started doing drift nights at Hobbytown. So we just do random, like, all right, hey, let's get together. Kind of get a handful of people out. And that handful turned into two handfuls and bigger and bigger. And there was nowhere to drift, especially around here. I mean, you were driving 2 hours at the time. Well, not even
No, we were
actually. There
going
was
over
no
to
track.
we were going over to Tim's house.
Well, that was well before our pop-up events at Hobbytown were well before we didn't even know about Tim. So basically, we started about 3 years ago doing the pop-up events at Hobbytown, and
Wow.
then we stopped. And then we stopped that winter, and then the next spring we started up again, and that was when we started getting the carpet.
Yeah.
And so we got
because we did the car show and got the carpet for the car show.
Yes.
And that branched out to me setting the carpet up every time we did a show or did a pop-up event at Hobbytown. So
yeah, so we'd set up.
So the cones it turned into going out there and blowing out the parking lot even more, rolling out the carpet, seaming the carpet together because we had 40-foot cut-up carpet.
It was 36 by 40. And so we'd seam the 3 pieces of carpet together and then take our lawn edging out and Velcro that to the carpet so that way nobody would slide off the track.
Let's see new pictures. Send Dave some pictures.
I already did.
About pop-up
so you
events?
need a timeout. Yes, I already took care of it.
Oh, okay. So then just automatically throw them in.
Yes, that's why I already sent them.
You are.
So
I love you.
Okay. All right. Time back in. So we would set up 36 by 40-foot section of carpet and Velcro the track down. And then just set up a fun event. So people thought a lot of times we would do it on Sundays when we weren't open at Hobbytown, or aren't, I should say. But we would do it on Sundays, so people would just be driving by and pulling in. Like, are you guys open? I'm like, no, sorry, we're not.
Because it's on Hobbytown's on a main road, so there's a lot of traffic going by there. So everybody knows the store they're going by and see a track in the parking lot and cars everywhere and tents set up. Everybody, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
Nice thing is there's a Walmart right there with a big parking lot, so everybody would park down there and come up and check it out.
Yep. So they would check us out, and then they were like, "Oh, okay, cool. This is kind of fun." And then, so then that whole basically second year, we drifted until we couldn't, until it was way too cold to drift.
Yeah.
And then we had a random break in the night where, like, 24 hours in advance, it was like in the 60s.
Oh yeah.
It was like in October, October, something. I don't know. It was cold.
Yeah.
So we would post out like, "Hey, last chance drift night." We had what, 20 30 guys that just stop out and drift with us one last time.
More than that, 50 plus people just hopping out total, just hanging out, seeing what was going on.
Yep.
I mean,
So
nothing huge, but pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it just started out with the 815 group with what, 5 of us.
Yeah. So 5 group of guys and gals. Now there's what, 800 something numbers in that.
Something like that.
So it's awesome to watch
it. It's a family. Everybody in there knows each other somehow. Everybody in the group's connected, if you think about it. There's no just random person in the group. Everybody is connected from a friend, and everybody knows somebody somehow. Pretty cool.
So
it's somewhere where you can go if you needed to sell something. For the most part, everybody that's in the group you trust. So,
So our last like event at well, actually, that would have been year one was that last impromptu season, and then the year two was getting into where we got the carpet.
Yeah, when we got the carpet was the first time we did the car show, which was through your gallery.
Yes. So that was after a
Right?
whole summer. Yeah, it was after a summer of drifting. And then we went that
Because that winter is when we got introduced to Tim. We went to Tim's house that winter.
that's when you went to Tim's house
Yes.
that winter.
And drifted there, and then
Yes.
we started the car show, which
Yes.
then
And then so the whole next year we were drifting at Hobby Town, and we needed a place that was permanent, that was indoors, so we can drift all of the time. Because yeah, drifting, you know, during our pop-up events at Hobbytown were fun, but we needed something that was not weather permitting.
well, that plus it sucked because you spend all day drifting and you're like, damn, that tear everything down. This sucks. I want to play some more. And there's nothing around here, so I figured we had to do something
Yeah.
about that.
So we met uh, Joey with Crazy Joe's Raps.
Well, you know Joy for a long
I mean,
time.
yes, I have known Joey for a while, but you met Joey.
She's like, hey, there's this guy that comes in, and probably heard of him, Crazy Joe's Raps. I'm like, of course, everybody knows Joe because he does the best stuff in town. And so met Joey, and she's like, he's in the you guys will get along. He likes talking about cars, so we both so
Bonded immediately.
we hit it off, and you'll get to meet him very soon.
So he had offered up his shop so we could do move indoors. So we
For a
did.
pop-up event.
So we did quite a few pop-up events at his shop, and that was where it led us to our permanent location, Twisted Lane Drift Circuit. So now we're on Twisted Lane Drift Circuit number 2. We just moved into a bigger building, which is awesome because we have way more space here, double the amount of pit space, more track area. We have our crawling course, which we couldn't do before. So we talked about like what got you into RC, what was your first car.
No, I didn't ask. Oh yeah.
You
well,
did.
I told you.
You told you what the first car was. I didn't ask you. You just
First thought.
you already divulged that information.
Yeah,
So-
I got it. I get excited about this stuff, as you can see.
Yes. So, I don't actually think we 100% like introduced we introduced ourselves, but we didn't talk about like our backstory, like what do we do during the day, not here at Twisted Lane Drift Circuit. So, yeah, I am the manager of Hobbytown here in Rockford, Illinois. I've been there for 14 years, and I love it. It's a ton of fun. Who gets to go to work and play with
She's
RC
got the
cars all
best
day?
job. She does have. Sorry to interrupt you, but she does have the best job.
It's not. It's a job, but it's not a job.
It's fun.
You go to an office all day. Oh, thank you.
And I mean, anybody that deals with the public, sometimes you understand it, but getting to hear all the cool stories. Well, it's like having us here at the track. All the cool stories you hear from people because she comes home and it's like, oh, guess what happened? Guess what happened here? Guess what happened to so and so? Always cool stuff.
Yes. So, what do you do?
I work at a machine shop. We build plastic injection molds. It's a fun job. Lots of cool stuff. We build stuff for the automotive industry. But that's just the day job. And fun jobs at nighttime with all of I guess we call them our family now. On our second year, or into our second year, and a lot of these people have been coming from the very beginning, and pretty cool. They know about us because our girls are here every night with us, and They tell us about their families. Pretty cool.
Exactly. And the RC community in general is so welcoming, so inviting.
Oh yes, any of you that are any of you that are watching us, 9 times out of 10 are in the RC community, whether it's crawlers, drifters, bashers, drag racing, off-road racing, boating. I mean, trains, some sort of the hobby. You love it, and that's something that everybody can bond on right there. You got a lot of people that come here to the track, everybody from different walks of life and people from different countries that come here, and it's pretty cool because everybody's here for the same thing, to drive their cars and have fun. But it's really cool. And I mean, the same thing with back to the RCing is if you're in RCing of any sort, right there is a common bond between people. So right there, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, lawyer, work in McDonald's, work for the garbage company,
Don't have a job.
don't have a job at all, work as a mailman, work in a factory. It doesn't matter. You're already getting along because you have this bond. It's cool.
Exactly.
That's why all of our best friends are from the RC world. We have lots of other good friends that don't, or other friends that are watching this. We didn't mean that, but we have some very, very, very good and loyal friends that have come from RC that we would have never met if we did not do this.
Exactly.
And not just drifting, just the crawling or
RCing, I don't know.
the drag racing, the off-road racing, every class, RCing in general. All right. Yeah, tell me your favorite RC related story. Play a couple of not good. I have lots of good stories, which we'll have lots of good stories in future. Um,
I
but
mean, my absolute like favorite RC related story would be Axial Fest.
yeah, which is a cool one we'll get into later.
Yes. So, uh, a little backstory on Axial Fest
Rush on it.
is Axial Fest is an event put on by Horizon Hobby that they customers that only have axial based vehicles, which are rock crawlers. Divulge on that. Um, you basically just go crawl with thousands of other people that have axial vehicles, and you're
Thousands
crawling through the woods
with your headlights on in the dark.
24 hours.
Yes, it's
You know.
pretty rad.
You can sleep until 2 in the morning and get up and go crawl until 4. Do whatever you want during these couple days. So it's a ton of fun. But we will talk about Axial Fest at another time. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it-
so much fun.
yes, Axial Fest.
When
yeah,
did-
yes.
Do you remember when the first one started?
It was 2020.
No, not the one here in the Midwest.
Oh,
The one in California, because it's been going on for years.
yes. Axial Fest started in. No, Axial started in 06 or 07. It was like 2013,
Sorry if
14,
you're
something
watching
like that.
anybody from Horizon.
Yes. So that started out in Cali,
Hmm.
and then
He
they
moved to the Midwest.
in 2020 it's when they moved to the Midwest. They went to the Badlands Off-Road Park in Attica, Indiana,
Badass.
and it's about an hour away from headquarters in Champaign for Horizon Hobby, so it works out perfect for them because they're super close to home. But the crawling there, I mean, they have even said that it's more realistic than going up in Cali. So,
It's rad.
it's awesome. So we'll post pictures and we'll do a whole podcast on Axial Fest because there's too much to talk about in
God,
just a
yes.
little section. So, favorite RC related story would be Axial Fest.
What about Axiom Fest, though? There's so much. We've been going there. This would have been, what, sixth? I mean, 6 years?
This would have been our
But it
sixth year.
obviously got canceled there. It didn't know.
Yes.
Um, so there's lots of good ones. Then in one particular,
I mean, our wedding.
oh yeah, it's
Hence
too
why.
easy though.
No,
That's
it's
too
not, though.
because
It's
I
not.
can't use that one.
I mean, yes, yes, you can.
Well,
We
of
can
course.
have the same
Oh, it's
story.
not as fun. Oh,
So, I mean, my second would be. See, the problem is there's so many awesome stories that I can't just choose one. So, I mean, my next would probably be uh when we went down to St. Jude.
that was a good one. That was one I won. That was one of my favorite memories.
Favorite RC related story would be when we went down to St. Jude and set up a little RC car track for some of the kids at St. Jude, at the Target House, and the Ronald McDonald House. So
Very, very cool.
that was awesome.
Explain why.
So I needed to do a community service project for school. So I reached out to St. Jude and asked them about do they accept donations? Like, how do we go about like hosting like a big St. Jude event and like using their name? And explained like what you guys did at Breezone, and was like, okay, I want to try and do this. So hosted, talked to Corey and Shannon and Justin, and said, I let's do a race and we'll do a St. Jude event and try to all proceeds go to St. Jude's and the kids and whatever we could get for them. So between Raise of Mercy and Cheese City up in Monroe, Wisconsin, we hosted two races, one up there and one here in Rockford, and raised a bunch of money for them. And then we wound up being able. They let us actually go down and deliver the check in person. And we set up the track for the kids at the Target House and McDonald House. So, what's your favorite RC related story?
Hmm. I'm sitting here listening to yours and remembering it. Oh man, there is so many. I mean, I'm so grateful and happy for the track and all the new friends that we've made. Um, the off-road track was so much fun. We made a lot of friends there. We're still friends with some, and that's Word Joe. We came around. Really. Um, but I don't know if I could pick just one. I think my favorite thing about the RC, everything from RC, is just all the friends that we made. You, you've told my favorite true story, obviously, our wedding, and 'cause how cool is that? Getting married at that big of an event with all kinds of people there. And these are people that we see every summer now because we go there, and so a big family down there. It's pretty rad. Um, oh yeah, just all the friends. Just think of all the people that we met if we would have never touched an RC car, or you would have not worked at Hobby Town. Say you had a regular job, different job I had, and you never touched these things. There would be shitloads of people who would never talk.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool. It's crazy to think that these toy cars, as everybody calls them, are pretty powerful. Pretty cool shit.
Exactly. We always talk about how everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I wouldn't have gotten into go kart racing, I wouldn't have met your family,
Very
and
true.
then I would have never looked up random people that I used to race with on Facebook, and would have never came back across you, and would have now started working at Hobbytown.
That's true. You're welcome, John. Uh,
It's one thing after another.
but it's been a crazy, fun, awesome ride. Um, sure, a lot of drifting. You don't see happen in the drift community or drift. I should say in the drift scene, or I guess, I guess anything in UFC, whether it's technology or
It,
something
it
cool at a track, or I don't know, something you're just like, dude, somebody needs to do this, or build this, or design this. This would be badass. Well, one thing. Pick one thing.
Acuvans not have a 2 second reverse delay. Come up with the firmware.
Oh, please,
Come up
please,
with the
please.
software update.
I'm sorry, I can't. And because of that. And it's sad because I am not the only one. And yourself is awesome, not knocking it, but it's that one thing. I know hundreds of people that will not run it because of that.
But
And I'm
then,
sure there's more that I don't know.
yes. But then there's a lot of people that would just state, well, if you wouldn't spin out and need to back up, you
But
wouldn't need the reverse delay.
I agree with you on that one. But every one of us has bobbled or hiccuped or just screwed up in front of a train, and all of a sudden you want to hit that reverse and you get quick out of everybody's rambling. You have shit, especially big trains. You got 7, 8 cars, maybe
Yeah.
more coming at you. You want to get the fuck out of the way.
Mm,
And when you can't, you're like, sorry guys, and you get ran over.
yes.
But,
So,
but that is big. That,
yeah. What do you want? What's one thing you want to see happen?
I don't know. We always talk about e-brakes, but that's the same thing as pulling the brake. So, I mean, everything is stepping up. Like technologies in the ESC, you didn't do anything. You need 2 steps to the right limit. I mean, you can do anything you want. But I don't know. Maybe we would scale around bodies. I mean, they're sick and insane right now, but let's see what they can where they can go. I mean, each year between them and crawlers, they get better and better and better between 3D printing, resin printing, and people designing their own shit between all these programs that are out there. Freaking awesome, dude. Like,
I just want to see the drift community grow bigger,
well, yeah,
which we already
that's
know is going to.
it's going to happen. The actual real drift scene is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're making more and more places for people to go to, and the bigger events are noticing this and bringing in like the formula drift and even smaller drift groups into bigger events. And so it's only going to get bigger, and as that gets bigger, just like car scene, as it gets bigger, it gets bigger. So, and I mean, look at all the companies that are involved in it that are jumping in the bandwagon and building chassis and all these other uh Tech and Macklin that are all jumping in the game, making motors and ESCs. Yeah, pretty cool shit.
Yes. Very
And
cool.
think of in 4 years we've done. I mean, drifting the house has changed. And I mean, you talk to our friends that have been doing this stuff for Alfred and Joey and Chris and
Gregor.
Gregor. I know I'm getting Matt and all those guys going into Chicago. Those guys have been doing this shit for like 15 years. Like back before when everything was all wheel drive and there was no drive and anything. Um, it was crazy back then.
So, uh, we talked about the pop-up events, Hobby Town. We talked about the pop-up events at Joey's. We talked about getting into Twisted Lanes Strip Circuit. What kind of what track are we? We're a drift track, but
Yes, we are a drift track. We are a polished concrete drift track. We are about 1,300 square foot, I think now. Let's a little bit bump out to you. We're at 1,300. And then about I would say 1,000 square foot crawling area, but it's multi-levels, so it's more than 1,000 square foot if you
yeah,
factor in all the different levels.
yes.
because it's about true stories, real
Mhm.
stories.
It's a work in progress still.
Mm.
Um,
It'll get there.
we'll show some pictures. So, but it'll be 3 levels,
Oh,
maybe some bridges,
oh, that'll be pretty good.
maybe a
Lots of bridges.
slide.
Definitely slide. Uh, caves, tunnels, all kinds of cool shit. Then the 24th scale. That was something that was pretty cool. We brought it in my house. COVID. Yeah, that was fun for everybody. Yeah, right. Her and Addison, because Riley wasn't around yet. Her and Addison liked watching news. I did not like watching news. Maybe after about 4, I was bored. So in our basement, this is when the 124th scale from Axial came out. They were like that big for the people that don't know. And they're pretty cool. They crawl over anything. And so we picked up a couple and drove them over books and pillows. And I was like, I'm bored with that. Any girls are watching movies in the theater downstairs. I'm going to build something. So I took a bookshelf and put some foam on it, and then that turned into a little bit more and a little bit more, and some old coral and stuff we had in the fish tanks. The next thing you know, we were, let's come here, let's get some foam board. And she had the hot knives from Poppy Town for the train stuff. So it all worked out. We built a 124th scale crawling course in the basement. And now we have it at the track.
It's getting a lot more use here
Than it did at top.
than
Well,
it did.
we used the shit out of
I
it
mean,
when we
yeah,
first built it, and then people came over and used it, and then everybody drove on it. I was like, okay. But now we've expanded it here and made it friendly for the TX or
M's.
M's. So they can go on the bridges and do some of the tunnels, and not just the Axios. The other guys can use it too.
Exactly. So we got our pit area. We got some scale um, photography places, I guess.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got a gas station. We
Oh,
have Twisted Lane's warehouse, or excuse me, Twisted Lane's headquarters. Um, there's so many photo opportunities here. So you could just build a car, build or even just build a body, and just stick it in the dollhouse and or the mini garage.
those are not dollhouses, it's a garage. Don't ever say that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it was a dollhouse.
it's not
It was a
dollhouse.
dollhouse that got turned into a
No.
garage. Yes, it was.
It has a lift in it. It's not a dollhouse. There's toolboxes. Yeah, it's not a dollhouse.
It was.
But there's lots of cool, as she was saying, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scale garages out there that you can put your cars in. They're all different scenes, photo ops. Then you also have the docks and the gas station at the one with the track that are all scale made by Scale Technologies, one of our sponsors. Go check them out. Some of the coolest shit you will ever see. Frager's makes amazing shit. So cool.
Yes. Yeah. We'll have him on.
Oh, most definitely. He's a cool dude.
Yes.
Then also,
We have the Chiswick Mids headquarters.
oh yeah, it's the Twisted Lane headquarters.
So, um,
What else?
yeah, the pit areas, Flexen. So, why do we do this?
Because we're nuts.
Yes.
Because I like sleeping 4 hours a night. Because I love being exhausted. Because I like doing a podcast at 1:30 in the morning while our kids are sleeping because this is the only time you have to do it.
Yes. Um,
I'm
we get to it
honestly,
just we get to meet so many awesome people, and if we stopped, people would go insane.
don't say it like that.
I mean, I think it's true. People would
People
be
would be very
up.
sad, just not because it's us, it's because of the track. People love the track. Don't get me wrong, we make sure everybody has fun. That's our goal is if you go to a track, I mean, everybody knows you go to a track. If you walk in and it's dull and people aren't happy and Nobody's talking to anybody. You just kind of want to drive your car and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go home. But if you go to a place to drive your drift car and you spend more time talking to the people around you than you do driving your drift car, that's a pretty kick-ass place to hang out, in my opinion. But I mean, that happens a lot here, a lot.
Yes.
For real, come on out, check it out. Um, but back to the topic, we got sidetracked. And why do we do this? Oh yeah, um, the family that we built now. I mean, we did it at first because we needed somewhere to go. We got tired of we didn't get on pop and go to pop up then. It's
Yes,
where
we
it
did.
was set up Friday night and tear down Sundays.
I mean,
No,
we talked about hosting events at
yeah,
Joey's.
yeah. Joey's we loved it because they were awesome. It was just like this. The polished concrete was great. We, but it's Friday nights. We had to wait till Joey got done working, which usually, love you, Joey, but usually it's supposed to be 5. But we never really got started till about 8.
And it'd be
And
like
then it was like,
midnight,
and
1 o'clock.
but we were troopers because once it was midnight, 1 o'clock, we were still drifting. Once the track was done before we went home and went to bed and got back up at 6 or whatever time to get back there to start getting ready for the day.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Lots of many nights.
But it was worth it. And then we'd be open for 2 days and then shut down and tear everything back down, move all of Joey's printers, his car, everything back. And we did it because we loved it. And we would have so much fun hanging out with everybody all weekend long. It was so worth it. And everybody wanted to do that all the time. So, like, hell yeah, let's let's gauge this and see what it'll be like if we charge an entry fee. And we kind of figured out, hey, we cover rent and all and insurance, all the good stuff you have to have. Um, let's try it for a year. Find something if for some reason we can't make rent, we could cover it and go from there. But everything's been great, and we outgrew our building in 4 months or less. Seemed like
It was pretty quick.
I would say, yeah, definitely less than half a year. We were definitely outgrown.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, by fall.
and so luckily, Mandy, our landlord, bought this place, and we have a pretty kick-ass place out there now.
Yes. So,
It's very, very comfy. Very last place.
stay
What about
tuned.
you?
Hmm?
What about you? Why? You asked me.
I asked why. No, I said why. I asked why did we do this?
Yes. Oh,
I
okay.
asked why did
So
we
I
do
answered
this?
for both of us. Okay. Fair
So,
enough.
um,
You got out of that one. You
so
tricked me.
yes. Well, speaking of Joey and Crazy Joe's Raps, he will be on next week with Twisted Tuesdays. So
One of
get
our
ready.
great friends and our sponsor.
Yes.
One of our sponsors.
So get ready because Joey is hence Crazy Joe's Raps. He's just a little bit crazy. So
Joey doesn't really have a filter.
so
A lot of fun.
kids probably maybe not watch unless they're used to some random things being said.
Oh, yeah. That's
So,
true. We have not watched the edited version.
yes. Oh, I mean, we haven't talked to you yet. So stay tuned. Next week.
Yep.
Crazy Joe's Raps. We're gonna have a ton of different guests on throughout our podcast career, I guess we can call it.
That's what I was just going to ask you. So, what do we expect out of all this?
What do you mean?
Can you just explain it? We're going to have all kinds of different fun guests. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? What's this podcast all going to be all about? We've explained ourselves.
So Twisted Tuesdays is about drifting, it's about drawing, it's about RCs in general. About anything. You can talk about anything on here. It's our podcast. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
Exactly. Yes. So, I think we should end here. So,
yeah, that's good. Like,
so stay tuned. Next week, Cruiser Joe's Raps will be on with us.
it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. I'm sure. Stay twisted.
See you guys soon.
Thank you for listening to another great podcast on the RCU radio channel. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends to join the channel for more RC content. RCU Radio. We cover it all.